Benicassim, Sonar, Primavera Live. Bilbao BBK Sunny Spain has a long history of putting on music festivals popular with the Brits. But Mad Bull, the capital's homegrown offering, despite a consistently stellar lineup, has remained modest in its draw in its nascent years. That all changed for 2018. For its fourth installment, organizers took a massive punt in an exponential expansion, jumping from 45,000 attendees a day to 80,000, upping the ante on the program and reaching out to attract a broader audience, including from the UK. The result? A staggeringly impressive selection of veteran and of-the-moment indie, rock and electronic talent. The outskirts of town, Valdebebas, site covered inch by inch in surprisingly lush false turf, was spotless, and the stages put together at the highest standard with crystal clear enormous screens and superb sound quality, ensuring even those lingering at the back of any show could get involved. Dual main stages provided seamless changeover from act to act, and an electric atmosphere amongst the eclectic, music-loving clientele crackled in the Madrilenian heat. BBK Festival's scale and ambition is all part of the charm. Clear highlights on day one were Tame Impala, led by Perth-born multi-instrumentalist Kevin Parker, who made a return to the stage after a year-long break. I'm sorry, it won't King happen again. I'm glad it's happened in Madrid though, because you guys know how to kick it. The mesmerizing visuals amplified the performance of the psychedelic rock tracks from ARIA award-winning albums Lonerism 2012 and Karen's 2016, as well as first-ever single Sundown Syndrome. Hailing indie pop rockers Kasabian set the crowd alight with a powerful performance of classic songs Underdog, Empire, LSF, Lost Souls Forever and Clubfoot, for their eponymous 2004 debut album, alongside newer numbers such as You're in Love with a Psycho from 2017's For Crying Out Loud, ending on the blazing fire. Synth-pop duo MGMT were Psych Magic, courting the usual eccentricity in favorites Electric Feel, Time to Pretend, and Kids, plus new songs released just this year after a 5-year hiatus, including title track Little Dark Age and When You Die. But it was Seattle grunge rockers Pearl Jam that clearly stole the hearts of the Spanish heavy 80,000-strong crowd, who covered every visible blade of fake grass, with Eddie Vedder reading out between song chat in Spanish, calling out harassment of women with the help of Javier Bardem and Luis Tosar, and delivering heart-wrenching advice to seize the moment. They treated fans to Rearview Mirror 1993, State of Love and Trust 1992, 1998, Given to Fly, highlights of 1991 album 10, Jeremy, Black, and Alive, and closed out with crowd-pleasing Neil Young cover Rockin' in the Free World. Friday was no less high-octane. Drenched in moody blue lighting, the ever-idiosyncratic Jack White displayed his renowned guitar skills, playing a selection of his solo material, including second album title track Lazaretto, plus Over and Over and Over, from his genre-bending third album Boarding House Reach, released this year. There were also renditions of White Stripes' classics, from Yo Te Lloba 2001 to Seven Nation Army. He even pulled out I Cut Like a Buffalo from The Dead Weather and the brilliant Steady as She Goes from his project The Raconteurs. Arctic Monkeys sexed it up in a mammoth 2-hour set, with Sheffield's finest Alex Turner in full swagger mode, trussed up in something of an offset 70s porn star get-up and playing a solid selection from 2018's critically divisive Tranquility Base Hotel. But the much-loved high-energy vibes were there in 2007 favorite Brainstorm, and later kicked back in with Why'd You Only Call Me When You're High, plus sound of an era track I Bet You Look Good on the Dance Floor. Franz Ferdinand really knocked it at the park on the Friday, with frontman Alex Kapranos delivering a lesson in live performance as he continually pumped up the crowd and vocalized the frustrations of many, ultimately coercing security in allowing normal ticket holders to flood the Golden Circle, whose criminally empty space was disrespectfully separating the band from the most enthusiastic fans. Reiterated on Twitter that night, "I felt like the front row was 2 miles back. It was an onslaught of sing-along classics, No You Girls, Ulysses, Take Me Out, which suddenly sounded fresh as ever, and recent, Always Ascending, proved they haven't lost the skill for crafting anthemic indie rock tracks." Closing song, This Fire, felt in more than apt with a pretty much out-of-control rip-roaring crowd full-on moshing along to the lyric, "This fire is out of control, I'm gonna to burn this city, burn this city." Taking the late-night slot were Italian dance music project The Bloody Beetroots. Celebrating the 10th anniversary, they were bloody marvelous, attired in half-face covering masks and jackets ripped with Resist. They brought a frenzied mash-up of electro house and drum and bass in a punk rock style that had you all riled up, shoes and inhibitions discarded, well past the 4 a.m. mark. Saturday's Queens of the Stone Age gig was an epic showcase of the 20-year spanning stoner rock, and echoing Alex Kapranos' sentiments of the day before, the macho Josh Homme actually had people scaling the barriers into the VIP block during a raucous set of the heavy rock which included the Feet Don't Fail Me and The Way You Used to Do from last year's Villains plus Little Sister, from darker album Lullabies to Paralyze. Thankfully the band's performance was marginally more explosive than the man's E-Guard, which promised, "We won't leave till you're F***, head up, high, dancing, making out with someone and having the time of your life." Otherwise we're just a bunch of domesticated animals. The inimitable Essex Boys Depeche Mode were on epic form, proving the 37 years on stage have taken none of the potency out of the rock meets electro. Dave Gahan, sporting a black and red waistcoat over his tattooed skin, thick black eyeliner and black nail polish, strut across the stage, microphone stand in hand, bringing his delightful camped-up weirdness to renditions of the synth-heavy tracks ranging from Everything Counts to last year's Going Backwards. Martin Gore, in all white and glitter, performed a heartfelt "Somebody." Black and white visuals were interrupted with a beautifully shot video of a transgender musician getting ready to go out for "Walking in My Shoes, in Your Room," came with a stunningly choreographed film of contemporary dancers. Personal Jesus blew minds, everyone in unison on those lines, Reach Out and Touch Faith. Closing tracks, Enjoy the Silence, and I Just Can't Get Enough, from before most of you were even born. Gahan quips were enough to remind us of fast fashion's pure music genius. Dave Gahan of Depeche Mode at Mad Cool Festival 2018, Andres Iglesias, the almost ludicrous back-to-back blocks of bands you can't miss right from 6 p.m. till 4:30 a.m. was not only a test for the stamina but also made for some painful decisions. I will be forever mournful I didn't sit out a bit of Arctic Monkeys to watch of the moment Mercury Prize-winning Young Fathers. Justice got skipped for Kasabian. Underworld I simply couldn't hold out for, as they closed out main stage at 3:15 a.m. Saturday. There was also little time for that usual joy of festival wandering, cider in hand, through the smaller stages, inadvertently stumbling across a new favorite artist. We managed to catch some of the Spanish talent such as Nuria Gray, with her understated but powerful vocals, and fun-loving Alberto. London's Goat Girl smashed it with a grungy folk while American folk blues hooray for the riffraff led by Linda Segarra and Frankie Cosmos aka Greta Klein, Kevin Klein's daughter, had just the right summery vibes on the radio station stage. The Icelandic blues rock Aleora gravity vocal dream driven up by J.J. Julius Sun singing the likes of Way Down We Go to a setting sun on Coco. Darren Malakian, There's Always Gonna Be a Bad Guy. While I was grateful for a vitamin D hit, the searing sun meant opening acts played only to a sparse audience of tenacious fans, collecting in weird-shaped herds under the scarce shade provided by the stages and yellow dumpsters. This meant Fleet Foxes, while by nature a mellow vibe, seemed to meet in rather low-key reception. North Londoners Wolf Alice were grossly shortchanged by an early Saturday slot for the folky grunge. Slaves, who stir up a sweaty mess even in the UK's school climes, made a literal swamp. Other weird scheduling decisions included pop Dua Lipa on the final night, who, though brilliant at what she does, seemed to jar performing Blow Your Mind, and electro-pop Calvin Harris hit One Kiss in her glitter-adorned strappy bikini top and choreographed backing dances against the predominantly rocky lineup. No review would be fully balanced without making mention the severely inadequate planning and insufficient infrastructure able to cope with the double in numbers for this year, causing a total implosion on the first day and unforgivable long queues to get in, eat and drink, never mind get at the music. The crowd at the 1968 festival Jefferson Airplane at IOW 1968 Gracelick with Jefferson Airplane IOW 1968 The Isle of Wight Festival Fleetwood Mac headline in 2015 John Giddings, IOW Festival Curator. Jefferson Airplane at the 1968 festival. Arthur Brown at the 1968 event. The crowd at the 1968 festival Jefferson Airplane at IOW 1968 Gracelick with Jefferson Airplane IOW 1968 The Isle of Wight Festival Fleetwood Mac headline in 2015 John Giddings, IOW Festival Curator. Jefferson Airplane at the 1968 festival. Arthur Brown at the 1968 event. Those who opted to watch Massive Attack We Were Busy Having the Time of Our Lives over at France were left helplessly waiting a front and empty but gig prep stage a full 90 minutes before being told the trip-hop legends had decided not to play due to sound bleed from the indie band's performance. The Twitter expressed reaction from many was venomously scathing. That said, as the days wore on, the machine that was Matt Gould did begin to whir as organizers reacted and solved many issues that had dogged the first day. I have no doubts they'll have learned some lessons hard but well for next year. A festival should be so much more than the sum of its lineup. Ticket sales and VIP upgrade profit should never come in the way of creating a fully rounded and lovingly crafted experience for artists and music fans alike. After seeing mind-blowing performances from many of my all-time favorite acts, I'm inclined to believe Mad Cool will prevail and take its rightful place as one of Europe's foremost festivals in one of its most vibrant cities. A bit less mad, a bit more cool.